Hey, just a quick heads up guys, there won't be an episode next week as I'll be taking my second and final week of vacation this year. Hey, welcome to Half the Battle.
Well, last week's toy was so bad, I spent about half the time talking about Transformers instead.
So today, why not talk about a vehicle I really like?
Meet the Cobra Piranha. This vehicle was released in 1990 with all original parts. Well, it was released in America anyway.
Yeah, this toy never made it to Belgium.
It's been somewhat of a holy grail of mine, and I finally got one this year, imported from the US in, I think, February.
Then about 2 months later, I found a second one at a local flea market. I kid you not!
Yeah, weird how life works out sometimes. You spend years looking for a toy, until you just bite the bullet and order one from a dealer in the States. And then another shows up a 15-minute drive from where you live for 1/5 of the price.
Not that I'm complaining, I mean, these things are awesome!
Let's start with the design. It's very smooth, very sleek. Well, it's a speedboat, so it sorta has to be. The thing manages to look quite menacing too. This is helped by the fact it's armed to the frickin' teeth. It comes with 2 machine guns, 2 depth charges, and no less than 6 torpedoes that double as missiles if you want. That's a lot of firepower for a relatively small vehicle. For comparison, the Triple T tank has 2 guns and missiles, but it is roughly the same size. I especially like the 2 torpedoes that are tucked and hidden underneath the boat.
Now, such a large arsenal is impressive and appreciated.
But this also means that there's a lot of small parts that can get lost over time. So I feel very lucky this is a complete one. The one from the flea market isn't, but I found replacement missiles for the torpedoes that work just fine. And it's not just the torpedoes and depth charges that are easy to lose. This boat has 2 antennas that are small and removable. As we've discussed, antennas are like my kryptonite, so finding out this Piranha was complete, well, that's a bit like...
It's complete.
I've got a feeling I'm gonna be getting a lot of use of that clip when it comes to vehicles.
Those of you familiar with the Piranha may have noticed I haven't shown one part of it yet, even though I keep hammering on that this thing is complete.
That's because the part isn't just useless, it's detrimental.
There's a clamp, thing that fits in the driver's seat. It's to hold the figure in place, but really, a figure can sit perfectly well there without it. In fact, the clamp is so tight, you risk damaging it, or the figure itself even, so you're better off leaving the thing to the side. To go back to the look of the Piranha, check out that freaking engine! Now that's huge and evokes power and speed.
It's a really nice aesthetic.
The engine also has great detailing with lots of parts showing. But it's the cockpit that really has the effort put in, with lots of controls and instruments. Honestly, for me, with the exception of the Moray hydrofoil, this is the best water vehicle Cobra ever got. And aside from the pieces that can get easily lost, like the antenna and especially the depth charges, yeah, those things don't click snugly in, so they're the first to go missing. I really can't find anything negative to say about the Piranha.
Sure makes a nice change from last week.
And that was the only toy of the Piranha ever made. The mold was reused in 1995 to create the Dragon speedboat for the Mortal Kombat line. Because when you think Mortal Kombat, you immediately think speedboat, right? The vehicle was altered somewhat. Instead of an antenna, it had a missile launcher.
Yeah, this was the mid-90s when everything needed a freaking missile launcher.
I think Barbie's Dream Horse came with one at some point. And the Piranha name was reused for a G.I.Joe vehicle in 2004 that came with Shipwreck. Overall, yeah, the Cobra Piranha is an excellent vehicle, and I really recommend it, especially if it's complete.
With that, let's talk about the character, and you know the drill by now.
The front of the box calls this a depth charge firing Sea Marauder, which is fine, but is selling it a bit short. The back of the box is selling it a bit long though.
Is that an expression? Screw it. It is now.
The back states it can sink any G.I. Joe vessel on the high seas within seconds. Yeah, I think the USS Flag might have a word or two to say about that. By the way, it's only thanks to the box and blueprints I learned these cylinders are supposed to be depth charges. I really had no idea what they were when I got the thing. Anyway, the Piranha was featured in a commercial along with the Locust helicopter, and it did show up in a few D-cartoon episodes, though nothing remarkable.
Same can be said for the comic.
It first shows up in a 2-panel cameo in issue 110, but there's not much to say. It is a pleasant surprise this small vehicle showed up at all in other media, really.
Another thing I want to talk about, the Piranha didn't come with a driver.
The box art has a range viper, but that's supposed to be a survivalist wilderness type trooper, not an aquatic one. The commercial, meanwhile, has an Undertow as the driver, but they aren't technically Cobra. Undertows were part of Destro's separate Iron Grenadier army.
So, who do I think is the best figure to pilot this beautiful boat? Well, I've actually picked one that's not from the original line.
For me, the 2003 Python Patrol Lamprey best suits this vehicle. Sure, the colors don't match precisely, but they are in the same ballpark. And since he's an aquatic-themed figure that didn't come with a vehicle, he was part of a Python Patrol figure set, it's a match made in heaven. And that was the Cobra Piranha. In conclusion,
I freaking love this thing!
it's cool, sleek, deadly, and fun. In a word, it's awesome. Hey, I like tearing awful toys a new one, but looking at great ones is a genuine pleasure. So this was a very nice episode to do.
I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?